She 50k the cousin, post a caption, pray none of my enemies hold me captain, I grieve different. The good news is there's no more plague, huzzah! The bad news is there's no more London.
Hey everyone! How's everyone holding up after Andrew's elimination? So, Boys Planet 2 just aired its very first survival announcement ceremony on August 14th. 32 contestants are gone, all based on fan votes and judges' scores. We're now down to the top 48 trainees. And today, we're going to spill some tea on the contestants everyone's talking about, starting with the top 8 ranked trainees right now. Lee Sang-won. Starting things off with the current number 1 ranking and the internet's latest crush, Lee Sang-won. This is the man who held on to first place from week 1 and got nearly 12.5 million votes in the first announcement. He ranked first in 170 countries and regions right now. The second he showed up on the show, everyone was basically drowning in Sang-won's visuals. Like, he's that type of K-pop idol good-looking, straight out of a webtoon. But it's not just the face. His backstory is actually kinda wild. So, here's the rundown. Sang-won used to be a big hit trainee, then moved over to Bill Entertainment, and now he's with Grid Entertainment. Some of you might remember him from Trainee A. Back in 2021, Hybe was cooking up a new boy group and even introduced the pre-debut lineup, Sang-won included. They posted a ton of content, and over time, he built a decent little fan base. But then, Hybe just scrapped the whole thing. No debut, no nothing. After leaving Hybe, he ended up working at a cafe. And here's the crazy part. I saw this TikTok saying Hybe recruited him when he was just 14. They literally wanted him so bad, they showed up at his school 4 times to convince him, and his dad, to let him train under Big Hit. 6 years of training later, he didn't debut. He watched his friends from TXT and ENHYPEN debut, saw Trainee A get cancelled. Anyone would feel crushed. Now he's on the show with a seriously stacked resume, a whole underdog storyline, and even brought along his friend Leo, who's also in the top 8 right now. The hot debate online, whether the two will debut together. We'll get into that later. Of course, his visuals are a big part of the hype. People call him visually flawless. But he's not just a pretty face. His vocals and dance skills went kind of viral early on in the show. He covered ENHYPEN's No Doubt with Leo and scored all stars. The highest rank, that boosted his popularity even more. Now, yes, there are always rumors about rigging and pre-selected lineups when it comes to Mnet shows, so some people think the show's favoring him. But the truth is, TikTok loves him. He's got experience, charisma, and the kind of stage presence you can't fake. Early on, there are some moments that made him stand out, was during a performance when his shoe literally flew off mid-stage. Instead of panicking, he just blurted out Aish, basically the Korean PG version of and Mnet didn't even edit it out. That clip kinda went viral. People thought it was hilarious, but also kinda sad when you realize it's his first time performing in front of people in 6 years, and that happens. Moments like that give him a personality beyond the perfect idol image. Recently, he also went viral for his Whiplash performance. Whether it's favoritism or just genuine talent, fans are eating it up. Now, even before the show aired, there was already some tea. An Insta's post claimed Sang-won was spotted dancing at a club, and there's even a short clip allegedly showing him in Hongdae this April, just weeks before the show aired. Fans are split. Some say it's not a big deal. Others think it's not a good look for someone about to compete for an idol debut. Netizens were pretty savage in the comments, saying stuff like, "We're in an era where even with scandals, people still have fans LOL. A regular person causing a scandal is still a scandal. Everyone's just pretending not to see it at this point." A grown adult man. Going to a club should not be called a scandal, but K-pop has some toxic standards to say the least. Whether or not it affects him long-term, right now, it's clear Sang-won is one of the most talked-about contestants on Boys Planet 2. And honestly, the reason I'm bringing this up is because it shows that Sang-won was already making noise before the first episode even aired. People were talking, debating, picking sides, and in a popularity-based survival show, that's gold. Whether the attention is good or bad, it still helps him climb those rankings. Another thing I want to mention is rigging allegations around Sang-won. Well, there's a lot of controversy around this show, which I actually covered in my previous video. So you can check that out if you want all the details. But in that video, I mentioned a post that went viral even before the show started airing. That post basically accused Mnet of rigging, and at one point it even said, and I quote, Lee Sang-won from Trainee A got 3 stars even though he kept going off key during his performance. And this information aligns with what happened in the Signal song episode when Sang-won had pitch problems but still got all-star rank. And what fuels these allegations more is the elimination of Lee Hyop. They didn't show Drippin' at all. Mnet hates Woollim Entertainment. Fans weren't having it. People started accusing the show of favoritism and bias with comments like, "Isn't this biased that Sang-won make mistake and still gets all-star rank?" They're clearly pushing certain trainees. This all hits harder because Mnet's survival shows have baggage. Remember the Produce 101 rigging scandal? That's when X1 had to disband after it came out that producers manipulated the paid voting results. The PD even got sentenced to 2 years in prison. Next up, we've got Angsin, one of the Chinese contestants from Planet C. And honestly, just like Sang-won, netizens completely lost it over his face card. He was even picked as the visual poster for the show. Angsin is only 18, but he's already a Chinese trainee, an actor, and currently under Chromosome. Last year, he competed in the KBS survival show Makemate 1, which was supposed to debut a global boy group called Nour A. They ended up debuting in February this year, but he didn't make it in the final lineup, but that helped him build a pretty solid fan base. On top of that, he's been a child actor, performed at big events like the Spring Festival Gala, and somehow balanced all that with school, even studying with tutors during filming breaks. Fans love that about him. His backstory is basically a talented guy who grew up in a super supportive family, loves singing, and just radiates positivity. And EXO being his role model is also something I saw TikTok talking a lot. And some people even say his style reminds them of established K-pop stars. And of course, posts on X keep pointing out little wholesome details about him, like how he's spoken up about global poverty, which has made him seem even sweeter in fans' eyes. But don't get it twisted, he's not just here for his backstory. Angsin's got strong vocals, great dance skills, and yes, insane visuals. People have been calling him a visual who was stunned from day one. And his stage videos keep trending because, well, he looks like that. Of course, no survival show journey is drama-free. Angsin has maintained his all-star rank and is accused of favoritism. So, in episode 2 that aired on July 25th, we got to see the training process for the Signal song test. This is where the masters really push the trainees, giving harsh feedback, coaching them, basically trying to get them ready for debut-level performances. One of the biggest moments in this episode was deciding who gets the killing part in the song, that one spotlight moment everyone remembers, plus picking the rap and dance unit members. Angsin worked hard in practice, but when it came to his actual performance, he made a noticeable off-key mistake. It wasn't just a little slip either. It was enough for him to straight up say, "I think I'll be demoted to 2-star. The masters didn't give him a grade right away and marked him as pending. But here's where things got messy. Instead of getting demoted, as everyone expected he would, Angsin got all-star rank. Not only that, he also got the killing part and the center position. Naturally, his visuals went viral immediately. He got more screen time and votes, but so did the side eyes from viewers. Some called it unfair. Some fans on X even claimed Mnet used evil editing to hide his vocal struggles. Naturally, that sparked both support and hate. But either way, it kept him in the spotlight. And his fans? They're ride or die, always jumping in to defend his work and kind personality. Coming in at 3rd place is Chung Hyeon, a 17-year-old Korean trainee under Wake 1. He trained for about 2 years and 7 months and was picked by other contestants as one of the visual posters of the season. And yes, he ticks the face card box of a K-pop idol. Hyeon's been getting a lot of love for his rap skills, dancing, and that perfect expression control on stage. His plot twist performance with the 1-star team went viral for its fresh, youthful vibe and the fact that his team beat the all-star team despite him not getting many parts. That kind of underdog win made fans even more protective of him. But here's where the drama kicks in. Since Boys 2 Planet started, Wake 1 trainees like Sang-hyun, Hyeon, and Soo Ching-yu have been at the center of rigging rumors. The post that blew up before the show even aired claimed Wake 1 trainees were getting higher star ratings than they deserved. Some people think the whole show is set up to push them into debut. It's just so obvious that the Wake 1 Entertainment trainees are getting preferential treatment. Hyeon, Chung Sang-hyun, Soo Ching-yu. The only thing they're not rigging is the number of votes. But that doesn't mean that the debuting members aren't decided beforehand. All the other contestants are just pawns on a chessboard. And how can we forget the other Wake 1 trainees and their scandals? Like Jiyeon Woo. who lied about being an independent trainee, then got exposed for bullying. He later apologized, and Wakwon eventually canceled his contract after the backlash. But somehow, he's still sitting at 16th rank. Honestly, why are we still voting for a bully? Sometimes I just don't understand K-pop fans and their performative outrage. Then there's Kang Woojin, currently at rank 10. He also got caught lying about his background and underdog story. That came out just a few weeks ago, and Wakwon also dropped him after it blew up. With all these controversies, plus the never-ending rigging allegations around Wakwon, which is literally a subsidiary of Mnet, it's no surprise people are side-eyeing their rankings. And when you think about how, early on in the show, Jeonwoo was being pushed as the center, it's hard not to wonder if they really deserve those spots. Korean fans say Hyeon rank is well-deserved, but global fans, a lot of them aren't buying it and think there's bias. On top of that, some of his supporters thinks he barely gets screen time. Like, in some episodes, people joke he's in blink-and-you-miss-it territory. His supporters are trying to fix that by pushing his fan cams and performances online so more people can actually see what he can do. And then there's the small rumor mill stuff, like someone saying they spotted him walking with a girl named Shay. It caused a little buzz, but honestly, it hasn't hurt him much since it's unconfirmed and fans mostly shrugged it off. Bottom line, he's got the looks, skills, and fan base to make debut, but the favoritism allegations hovering over Wakwon trainees aren't going away anytime soon. On the 4th rank, we have Jun Seo with around 8 million votes or points. For those who don't know, he has quite an interesting background. Jun Seo is 23 years old, Korean singer-songwriter, rapper, and actor under OUI Entertainment. He trained for over 3 years before debuting in 139 in 2019 through Under 19, where he ranked 9th. After that group disbanded in 2020, he debuted again in Wei as a rapper and vocalist. In 2024, he even stepped into acting, playing the main lead in the BL drama Secret Relationship, which actually hit one on Watcha and got him a lot of praise for his emotional acting and chemistry with his co-stars. His acting debut in Secret Relationship was a legit success, but right now, the noise from Boys 2 Planet, both good and bad, is what's defining him. He's definitely going for that all-rounder position. He previously got an all-star rating for the Signal song Hola Solar and later performed ENHYPEN's Sweet Venom, which became a big talking point. Fans love his leadership. They say he's quick to figure things out during team challenges, takes care of his teammates, and even other trainees like Lee Sang-won have gone to him for advice. Plus, people can't stop pointing out how much he's been working out lately. The broad shoulders comments are everywhere. But his Sweet Venom stage also drew a lot of criticism for weak vocals, with some saying the song's high range just didn't suit him. A few people even speculate he's been focusing more on fitness than vocal practice, which could explain why his singing didn't meet expectations for someone with 5 years of idol experience. Of course, his fans aren't having it. They argue he's not just a decent singer and dancer, he's also got experience, leadership skills, and charisma, so they're going to keep voting for him regardless. He hasn't been caught up in any of the rigging or favoritism scandals surrounding the show, but since Boys 2 Planet itself is so controversial, some still question his high ranking. Mnet has been giving him decent screen time, but they love to highlight the vocal critiques more than his other strengths. Bottom line, Jun Seo is a seasoned idol with strong stage presence, leadership, and now acting credentials, but the public is split on his vocals. Leo. Leo and Sang-won are basically the duo everyone's talking about right now. From the very first episode, we saw that little intro where Leo convinced Sang-won to join the show, and the whole two best friends debuting together narrative kicked off. But while Sang-won's been getting non-stop praise, Leo's past kind of hangs over him, and it might make or break whether he actually debuts. For those who don't know, Lee Leo was part of the pre-debut project Trainee A with Sang-won. He got a decent following from their YouTube vlogs and his self-composed track Move On back in 2021. Since then, he's debuted as a soloist under 131 label with One Look, dropped an EP, released another single, and even joined Rap Public in 2024, though he got eliminated pretty early. On Boys 2 Planet, he's repping Grid Entertainment. He performed ENHYPEN's No Doubt with Sang-won, got an all-star rating, and even ranked 5th in the first survival announcement thanks to strong global votes. The show's been leaning hard into their 8-year friendship and the idea of them debuting side by side. But here's where things get messy. An old controversy came back up as soon as he was announced as a contestant. When Leo was 19, he grew up in Australia, and English is his first language, so he wrote and performed a rap in some kind of showdown event. The problem? The lyrics were extremely violent and misogynistic towards women. After that whole controversy blew up, Leo ended up leaving Trainee A in August 2022, saying his mental health was struggling. A few months later, the whole group was disbanded and their debut plans got scrapped anyway. There's even a Reddit post that breaks the whole thing down. After backlash, he apologized. But a lot of fans still side-eye him for it, saying 19 isn't a kid, and he fully understood what he was writing and performing. The most disturbing part for many is a line that, without context, sounds like it's implying SA. Some fans defend it by saying it was mistranslated or just badly worded. But even then, if English is your first language, how do you not see how bad that sounds? And since the main fanbase for Boys 2 Planet is female, it's still an ongoing conversation. Will Leo actually make it to debut alongside Sangwon? Some think probably not. Others argue their friendship story alone is reason enough to keep voting for both, so they're not split up. At number 6, we've got Li Yu, a Taiwanese trainee from FNC Entertainment. He's basically the visual poster boy of the season and pulled in over 7.5 million votes. I saw a TikTok the other day saying people on Boys 2 Planet are voting with their eyes, not their ears, and honestly, they might be onto something. Because if we're being real, Li Yu still needs a lot more training. The internet's been saying the same thing. Netizens have left comments like, Chueli Li Yu needs more training. Debuting now will only make it harder for him. Please understand this. Li Yu can't even hold a note properly? Don't understand why some people are so obsessed with just the visual side. If looks were everything, why not choose someone who has both visuals and talent? This is a survival show aiming to form a global group that will sing, dance, and rap, not just show off looks. In the end, most people will listen to their voices when they sing. Chueli Li Yu is currently ranked 3rd, but he still needs improvement and training in both vocals and dance before debut. Yet some fans seem blinded by his visuals and overlook the importance of talent and growth. Some even point out that Mnet's been giving him a lot of screen time, which naturally makes people notice him more, even if his skills aren't quite debut ready. Of course, his fans see it in a totally different light. To them, he's basically become the punching bag of the season. Every tiny mistake gets blown up, while other trainees get away with way worse. They argue that deep down, people actually like him as a person. He's just at the very beginning of his idol journey, figuring things out in real time, and that's not a crime. They point out that he's putting in the work, showing up, and trying to improve every single week, unlike some contestants who came in with years of experience and were already debut ready from day one. In a way, watching his progress feels more inspiring because you're seeing raw potential slowly turn into skill. But of course, not everyone has the patience for a slow burn. And that's kinda unfair to so many talented debut-ready trainees who literally got eliminated. At the end of the day, fairness has always been a core problem with Mnet survival shows, and this season just keeps proving it. Then, at number 7, we've got Kang Min. He's 22, already an active member of Verivory, and not exactly a stranger to the idol world. Kang Min didn't come into Boys Planet 2 as a complete unknown. He was the group's Maknae, he's done MC gigs on music shows, and even before the show aired, Mnet was using him heavily in promotional material as the visual poster. So he definitely came in with a certain level of hype, both from his pre-existing fanbase and his experience performing on real stages. And to be fair, he hasn't just coasted on his background. Kang Min's done a solid job as a contestant. He's not the flashiest performer on the show, but he's consistent, polished, and brings that confidence you only really get from already being in the industry. The recent eliminations really hit home, though. Both Kang Min and his fellow Verivory member Hyeon made it through, but their leader Hyeon didn't. He ranked 49th, just missing the cutoff, and you could feel how shocking and painful that was for them. Fans were mad too, and many turned their frustration toward Mnet, accusing them of milking the Verivory storyline only to cut Hyeon out. One fan tweeted, "F Mnet for using Hyeon like this. The one time they finally give him screen time, it's when he's about to be eliminated." Another wrote, "He walked out knowing he did his best and led one of the most memorable Rising Sun cover stages in K-pop. Lee Donghyun, we're so proud of you." So, with Donghyun gone, there's even more pressure and support falling on Kang Min and Hyeon now. Of course, it hasn't been completely smooth sailing for Kang Min either. A viral post accused the Vivre boys of acting like snobs, treating other contestants like newbies, and even smoking in the bathrooms. It also claimed Kang Min didn't sing that well, but still got 3 stars on broadcast. But honestly, these rumors haven't gained much traction. Most international fans seem to brush it off as typical survival show drama, and Kang Min's image hasn't taken a big hit from it. On the flip side, opinions about him are really mixed. Some think he has all the odds stacked in his favor. He's handsome, he's got a pre-existing fan base, he's been in the industry long enough to feel polished. One fan even said, if he gets even an ounce of screen time, I predict him going very far. Others are harsher, questioning what exactly makes him stand out. Comments like, Kang Min is just average to me, not a standout dancer nor a standout vocal. I understand his visual hype, but what are his real charms? But then, you'll also see replies defending him. He's not weak at all. He's above average in both dance and vocals. And since visuals are objectively on his side by Korean standards, he doesn't need to be the absolute best at either. He's well-rounded, stable, and idols like that are important in a group. And honestly, that's where Kang Min shines the most. He's not the star player in just one category, but he's a balanced all-rounder who can carry himself on stage. His facial expressions, stage presence, and confidence make him stand out in group performances more than in solo moments. Fans also point out his charisma is a big part of his appeal. Even when he's not singing the hardest parts, he has a way of making himself noticeable. What makes people root for him even more is his personality and growth story. Kang Min debuted at just 16, and sometimes it's easy to forget he's still only 22 because he carries himself with the maturity of someone who's been around longer. Fans remember his playful, affectionate side as Verivery's maknae, but they also admire how he's been pushing himself to grow on Boys Planet 2. In his audition, he actually took on more vocal lines than he usually gets in his group, even consulting his members for advice on how to improve. That effort stood out to people because it showed he wasn't just coasting off his existing fame. He was trying to break out of the maknae who doesn't get lines box. Personality-wise, fans see him as kind, approachable, and humble. He's been praised for his playful chemistry with other trainees. At the end of the day, Kang Min's not the kind of contestant who blows you away with jaw-dropping vocals or insane dance breaks. But he doesn't really need to be. He's steady, reliable, versatile, and visually strong. He's got the kind of idol seasoning that's hard to fake, and that makes him an appealing candidate for debut. For some viewers, he's not exciting enough to be their pick. But for others, that balance and charisma make him exactly the kind of member they want in a global group. And given how the V-Reverie storyline has played out, with Donghyun's shocking elimination, a lot of fans are rallying harder behind Kang Min now. Whether you see him as average or as underrated, one thing's clear. He's in a strong position, and he's not leaving the conversation anytime soon. Masato is one of those contestants who stirs up a lot of conversation, both good and bad, and that's what makes him so polarizing on Boys 2 Planet. He's 21 years old, and he's representing Planet K under Encode Entertainment. Before this show, he trained under SM Entertainment in 2022, which already gives him a certain level of intrigue, because people expect SM trainees to have a certain polish. Add in his visuals, tall, fair-skinned, with that prince-like aura. And it's no surprise that he's been ranking high, even making it into the top 8 interim lineup at the end of July. But the debate around Masato is intense. Supporters see him as striking, charismatic, and someone who just hasn't had the right chance to show everything yet. They argue that Minette did him dirty by not even airing his audition properly, which gave people the impression he lacked skill. Fans also say that his participation in songs like Hola Solar and the Rising Sun performance show that he has stage presence, even if he's not perfect yet. To them, the fact he's still climbing the ranks, especially in Korea and China, proves he resonates with people. Some even bring up little personality moments that make him endearing. On the other side, critics don't hold back. There are posts calling him just average, or even a dozen, which is slang for someone who blends into the crowd. They say his dancing and singing are nothing special, and that the only reason he's still up there is favoritism from the show or his agency's push. Some even tie it to Kim Jae-jung, wondering if Encode connections got him an edge. Others describe him as boring or unremarkable, questioning how he managed to outrank trainees who, in their eyes, clearly have stronger skills. The sentiment is basically, he's good-looking, yes, but does that justify top 8? To them, the answer is no. The controversy doesn't stop there. In that viral rigging claim post that circulated online, Masato's name was actually mentioned too, accusing Minette of giving him favoritism. It's one of those things that fuels the "he's being pushed" narrative, even though there's no proof. For his supporters, this feels unfair, and just another example of how editing and rumors paint him in the worst light. For his critics, it's confirmation of what they already believed, that his ranking isn't entirely earned. When you look at his performances so far, they're a mixed bag. In Hola Solar, a lot of viewers thought he struggled to keep up, and it reinforced the idea that maybe he wasn't ready for such a high rank. But in Rising Sun, even if he wasn't the standout of the team, people noticed his visuals and presence. And sometimes in a survival show, that's enough. Catching eyes, looking confident, and leaving an impression. Fans will argue that stage charisma is its own skill, and Masato has that in spades. All of this creates a weird dynamic around him. On one hand, he's steadily building a fandom, especially in Korea and China, where visuals can carry a lot of weight. On the other hand, he's constantly being picked apart online, with people saying he doesn't deserve his spot. What's certain is that he's one of the names everyone has an opinion about, and that alone means he's already succeeded in becoming a central figure of the season. So yeah, those are the current top 8 ranks and all the chaos, discourse, and drama surrounding them. What do you guys think about all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you've got any video ideas you'd like to see on the channel, let me know too. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more K-pop deep dives, and I'll catch you in the next video.